right. We are now live on Wade Spencer's YouTube channel. The second time today.
I know you're a busy guy.
Wait, not nearly as busy as you, though. Not nearly as busy as you, because you're crushing on Poshmark, and I can't wait to dive into that, Rebecca. We have some cool people on this YouTube channel, guys, and I know you all know our guest. But if you don't, she is amazing. She's got a fantastic YouTube channel. We'll dive into that. She's got an even better Instagram, and I'll show you some. I'll show you some pictures and bring up her Instagram, guys. Super knowledgeable. So, Rebecca, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Rebecca Black. I am the Bexa Boss Lady, and all of my reselling stores are Boss Lady Resale. So I started reselling a really long time ago. I think probably 2006. 2005 or 6 is when I first started selling on eBay. And at the time I was a social worker and I just wanted to wear designer jeans, and I could not afford designer jeans. And so that's kind of how my love of eBay and selling online started. I'd always shopped at like TJ Maxx and consignment stores and places like that. So this was just another way for me to do it. And, you know, back then it wasn't as common as it is now. You know, people weren't like searching used clothes a lot. But it was a lot more auctions. You know, it was so different than it is now. Everybody just wants everything right now. They don't want to wait 7 days and bid with people and get excited about it. So I think Amazon's definitely changed the way that we all look at shopping. So yeah, I started a long time ago. I joined Poshmark in June or July of 2015. So this is my 3rd year selling on Poshmark. I'm just at about $30,000 I've made on selling on Poshmark. Most of it has been the last 18 months or so. And, you know, I sell about probably 25, 30,000 a year on eBay too. So I'm not like a huge seller, but I also do this all part-time. So if someone is looking to make part-time money, but not work, you know, at a retail store, the mall, or a restaurant or a bar, this is definitely an avenue to do so. And I just like sharing my story. You know, I have a lot of health issues. So for me, it makes it very difficult for me to work full-time. But, you know, being able to build my own schedule, make my own terms, and still make money is what is so important to me. And when I really kind of ramped up everything, I needed to pay a very expensive surgery and some medical bills that I had. And that's when I opened that Instagram account and just thought maybe I'll help a couple people, you know. And here we are, almost 25,000 followers later, 14,000 YouTube subscribers. It's crazy. But I get so many messages from people like every day that brings tears to my eyes. And I try to reply to everybody, and great comments. And I've been fortunate. I haven't had too many trolls on my account. I get the occasional weirdo, but I've been fortunate that everyone's been respectful and, you know, just interested in what I have to say and learn from me, and know that there's other avenues out there than what they think. So you don't have to work a 9 to 5. You don't have to get a part-time job somewhere else. It's all capable with reselling online. You just have to watch channels like ours to maybe figure it out or put the pieces together. So that's a little bit about me.
So we have some pretty amazing comments, guys. If you were in chat, I know we did two shows today, but if you're in chat and you are subscribed to Rebecca, please let me know. Type 1 in chat. I'm curious to see how much love there is in here. I know there's a lot. We have let's see. Just to start off, I've been following a long time. She's been so it looks like Tanya has been, or excuse me, Treasures has been following you a long time. So you've got an amazing YouTube, a really cool Instagram, and I just want to say, you kind of said that you just want to help a few people. I truly believe the people that start social media with like the intention to help people are the ones that blow up the quickest. And
I agree. Yeah. So, well, there's an authenticity about it that is different. You know, I don't edit any of my videos. What you see is what you get. I call it a one-shot Sally. I shoot it, I upload it, and I post it. You know, I trim the ends because, you know, you're supposed to look and smile and wait. but typically I just trim the ends and I upload it. So unless I accidentally drop an F-bomb or something, I really try to just, like I said, what you see is what you get. There's no, editing. I'm not playing any games. Like it's just me and my camera filming some videos. So
I think that's really, really cool.
yeah.
Guys, so those of you who are possibly, if you're new here, I'm constantly be putting her link in chat, guys. So you can click it, go subscribe to her if you're not already. And then also, I believe your name is the same on Instagram, right? So
yeah, I have 2 Instagrams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is really cool because as I was telling you before the show started, like you sell on eBay and Poshmark, and I think it gives you like a really unique perspective of both, and which like with the strong points of each platform. So I'm just gonna let you dive in. Like this is a show just for people to get nuggets about Poshmark. I think that's like a lot of interest is in Poshmark, and I'm on Poshmark, by the way. I am an ambassador.
Woohoo!
I've only sold like 22 items so far,
That's
but
okay.
yeah, it's and I have this amazing lady who does all my social media, like backdrops, banners. Like she's really good at Photoshop and that sort of thing. And she just yesterday redid my Poshmark background and profile. So I'm gonna be kicking it up. I'm gonna learn some nuggets from you, Rebecca.
All right.
Sure. So I'm gonna let you take it away. Like I guess the main thing is probably maybe we can talk like the difference between the two, what you like, what you don't like, and then also like dive in like slow and then move your way up to more advanced stuff.
Okay.
And guys, sit back and listen. This is crazy. This is crazy. And by the way, thank you for joining.
Of course.
Small fry compared to you, but I really appreciate it.
We all have to start somewhere.
Yes.
I would just look back at my first Poshmark listings, and they were like laying on my floor with like dog hair around it. Like they were terrible. Like they were hanging on the door. You couldn't see like really what it was. And then it's funny if you actually go back and look at the evolution of like someone who's been selling on Poshmark a long time. It's nice because eBay gets rid of those listings after 90 days, but Poshmark keeps them forever. So there is a forever journey of your terrible pictures and terrible descriptions on Poshmark. So if you ever just go and scroll through someone's solds and just scroll down as far as you can get, the pictures will get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So don't ever get caught up in like, oh, I'm not as good as Rebecca or anybody, because I started there as well. Now for eBay, I started there a really long time ago. Like I said, I started when it was auctions. I just attended eBay Open. I must have just missed you. I actually was not very impressed with it. So the last day, I don't even think I went over to Mandalay Bay. So I decided to go to the pool. However, I do think that it was a good experience to meet other sellers. And that was more beneficial to me than, any of the workshops or anything like that. It's interesting to see the evolution of eBay and how much they are, I believe, this is obviously my opinion, but I believe they're losing their sense of self. I believe they're losing what made them so great in the beginning, the small sellers with the really unique items or the different things or that's what it started as. And it's grown into now they want to compete with Amazon and Walmart. And I can't honestly compete with that. So I do not offer free shipping. I do not offer free returns. I'm just kind of, I guess, stuck in my ways with that. I'm just one person. I can't offer same day shipping. I'm not going to the post office every day. So, I think one of the things you have to think about with eBay is, can you modify your business the way they want you to? And if not, how can you create an advantage doing other things? So I did a video about this, but I'll talk to you about it too. They had one-on-one meetings where you could meet with an eBay representative. Did you do the Biz Boost?
I did. I had 2 little kids running around, so I would definitely take them again, because even though there's not, like, Vegas is not a kid-friendly place, like there's beaches and all kinds of, like, fake beaches and all kinds of stuff. So
right.
Yeah, the only thing there's only a couple, and one of them I stumbled in was the social media one. I was able to help out some people on that one. But yeah, no, I didn't. I did not. I heard that a lot of the classrooms are primarily for newer sellers, and you know, people were saying possibly next year they should, like, you know, kind of like identify or let you know which ones are for newer, which ones are for, you know, more.
Yeah.
But no,
well, the Biz Boost was a one-on-one. So it was like me and this man from eBay who works there going over our closet and or my eBay store. And what surprised me was, you know, all of the things they were trying to push. When I pushed back on him and said, I'm not doing that, he was just kind of like, well, you know, everything else you're doing is great and your store is good. So I said, well, where do I go from here? And he basically was like, offer free shipping. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So I think, though, if I can do everything well on the things that I'm willing to do. So, you know, I'm willing to take as many photos as I can. I'm willing to write descriptions that are longer than 140 characters or whatever. I'm willing to modify my titles in the order and the way that they prefer or like. You know, I'm willing to do some promoted listings to get my stuff out there when I know I'm not offering free returns. So there's some things that I'm willing to do and play around with and experiment with. You know, do I do 7-day listings, 10-day listings, 30-day listings? So I think that's what is important, is you have to not beat the system, but you got to learn to use the things that are not advantages to your advantage. So yes, while I'm not going to be offering those things, you know, people know what they're getting from my listings because I have great pictures, I have great descriptions, and I have a very low return rate, and I have 100% feedback. So I think for eBay, it can be overwhelming, but if you learn, like I said, to work the system, it will work to your favor. Obviously, I'm not going to show up as high as people who have free shipping, free returns, and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, that's what I got to do. So honestly, now I've invested more time in my Poshmark store. And I think Poshmark, you know, Poshmark is only clothing, shoes, purses, accessories. Poshmark is not for, you know, Ray Dunn stuff or, you know, random household items. So it makes it easy to know, okay, I can only list these things on here. And I can only list them in 4 categories: women's, men's, kids, and I think maternity, or juniors. I'm sorry, it's juniors. And it's very easy to list. You know, there's 8 pictures, there's 1 title, there's only so many characters you can put in the description. There's like 4 drop-down menus as opposed to eBay's 30. Like, I just started listing some shoes on there. Why do I need all this stuff on? I don't need this many options. No one is looking at shoe buckle style, shoe buckle color, shoe buckle, you know, design, shoe buckle era, shoe buckle year. I mean, it's just, why do I need to do that? I think some of them are arbitrary, and then newer folks get onto eBay and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't know either any of these answers. I don't know the styles. And it's very overwhelming. And so that's one of the, I think, the benefits of Poshmark is that it's much easier to list. It's a much more basic, user-friendly app listing. Here's my pictures, here's my title, here's my description. But, you know, some of the listing title information, the listing descriptions, those play hand in hand with eBay. So you want to include the same information. You want to have search-friendly titles in your Poshmark listings, just like you do in eBay. You want search-friendly listing information like you do in eBay. It's interesting because I always put descriptions in there, and I have a very low, or I'm sorry, measurements. I have a very low return rate, but I see a lot of large sellers on Poshmark who don't have measurements. So it's just very much like, you got to find your own way, your own style, and brand yourself more on Poshmark than you do necessarily on eBay. I think Poshmark is more of a, it's more of a social, more of a, oh, I know that plant, it's Specs of Boss Ladies, or, you know, I know that flat lay and that carpet, it's the Deal Queens, or whatever it is. You know, you start to brand yourself more, and then people notice your things because you're creating that consistency with your listings. Whereas with eBay, I don't think it's that as important because they just want plain. They want plain backgrounds, plain photos, whereas Poshmark is encouraging more of the flat lays, the polyvore kind of, here's the shoes, the bag, the skirt all in one. So those are some of the bigger differences, I think, but also similarities if you compare the two just briefly. And I could literally talk forever on this. So just cut me off whenever.
Oh, guys, I need to have Rebecca on more often. Seriously. Like, I can have her do my videos. She's amazing. I can just sit back and then honestly, I think that's really, really good insight, especially coming from you, because like I said, I'm a small fry on Poshmark, so I don't know a lot of the ins and outs. And so I think it's really cool that you have both perspectives, because I love Poshmark shipping. We'll get into that. I love Poshmark in general. How are you doing the photos? Are you doing the same photos, or are you taking the white background with eBay and then sprucing it up?
I'm just leaving the same photos. And here's my reason. Well, let me back up. We used to live in an apartment that had amazing natural light, and it had big windows, and I had my couch and the plant. I called her Linda. Linda was my plant. She was always in my photos. So that was my branding moment on Poshmark. And I always just listed those on eBay as well. And then what I started to do after eBay opened last year, when people started saying, hey, they want a white background, whatever, and we moved. So it was at the same time that they started saying they wanted a white background, plus we moved, and I don't have that amazing natural light anymore. So now I just have a little photo studio in the bedroom behind me. It's in the corner. I have 2 light boxes, and I just hang it. And I bought like a $12 white brick. So it's kind of white brick, it's kind of got a background, but it doesn't. Now my shoes, I always list on this like plywood. I don't know what it is. It's like fake wood looking flooring that I created. I think that the colors in that bring out the colors in the shoes. I personally, and just from a shopping perspective, I really don't like the way that shoes look in a light box. I think it blurs out the edge of the shoe lines. I think you miss some details. Unless you're using maybe a professional camera, or you really know how to do product photography, I think that it's difficult to get those like perfect images. I've seen too many where I've just passed them up and I haven't purchased them because I couldn't see, the heels of the shoe or around the sides because they were blurred with the bright white or the light box. So I think if you know how to take a light box photo, or you should learn, if you're going to use a white box, you can't just click a photo. You got to kind of have a little bit of finesse to get those pictures look clean and clear and crisp for the buyers.
Yeah, I'm actually retaking my my shoe photos, and I'm on pure white background for pretty much, like pure white, except my shoes are horrible. And this was probably a year ago. I need to retake them for a lot of my vintage Nike and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Posh show in Dallas?
Yes, I am. And I'm actually going, and I'm a seller stylist at the Poshmark Live event in Washington, D.C. on August 21st. I think the seller stylist sessions are already sold out, but I actually will be there with my husband, who's the data guru, who helped me create the data course for Poshmark. So he and I will both be there, and you can talk to us and pick our brains and have a drink with us. And I think it's going to be a really good time. I will also be at Posh Fest. Yes. You
are lucky to have a husband that talented.
Well, I am, but he has very specific talents. So he's very much into data. That's his thing. So he's not into used clothes, but he's into the data about them.
Nice. That's a good combination. Like I think it's really, really cool that in today's age, we could pick up a phone and take something that actually physically you'll have in your hand, sell it, get money for it, and ship it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's intense. So let's start out with Poshmark basics. I know you have like a really cool course. We'll talk about that. I think it's going to be really cool for you guys in chat to learn about this course, but let's talk a little bit about the basics. Like, so pick up your phone, you sell something. Tell me a little bit about like how it works. Like, the buyer buys it. What I like about Posh again too is not only do they have great shipping, but like once they accept your offer, the money's there pretty much until
Yes.
receive the item. Can you go through just like the quick basics of like and any tips that you have for any new Poshers?
Sure. So I also have, I mean, I know we're probably only going to be on here for, an hour or so, but I have a Poshmark 101, 102, 103, 104 series that's on my YouTube channel. So if we don't get to something and you're like, wait a minute, I still have a question about that, you can head on over to my channel and I have all sorts of tutorial videos. So if you're going to list your items, I'd say you want to have at least 15 items for sale. It makes you kind of look like you're using your closet. You also want to be active, so make sure you're sharing your items. Some of the times you'll get some people who offer you like $1 less or $2 less, and primarily it's because they want to make sure you're active in your store. The worst thing you want to do is to offer, is to purchase a handbag for like $500, and then that person never ships it, never responds, because the seller has 7 days to ship that item, and you can only cancel within 3 hours. So if you get like a weird offer from somebody, typically they want to know if you're there and available and you're actually active in your store. So it's a strategy some people have used because otherwise, if you buy a purse and the buyer technically can hold, Poshmark will hold your money for 7 days until you can request a cancel or that person decides to ship it. So if you don't have, if you don't want your money just chilling in Poshmark until it gets shipped, and you want certainty that that person is actually seeing what you're buying and your offer, then that's one way to do it. You obviously don't want to buy from like ghosted closets. That's the worst because, like I said, your money gets tied up. So the first thing you want to do is, even if you're on there every other day, you share your stuff like every other day or a couple times a week. You don't have to be, if you don't want to put in the time to, share all the time. It just lets people know that you are checking that account, that they will see that. Then, once you sell your item, one of the really great, amazing things about Poshmark is they just email you the shipping label. So the money goes into a pending account, into your Poshmark account, goes into a pending status. And once you get the mailing label in your email, all you do is print it out and stick it on whatever you want, except the blue Priority Mail Express. So it used to be that you could not use flat rate envelopes, boxes, and things like that, or the Priority Express. So the Priority Express are the blue ones. You only want to stick to the red ones. However, Poshmark has come to an agreement that we can now use the flat rates. Some post offices have not caught on to this yet. So I know some people have struggled with, my post office handed this back to me, or my post office wants me to pay another $7 for this. There is a letter that Poshmark has that's addressed to the post office. I believe it's on their blog that you can find. I know it's circulated in all sorts of Facebook groups, but it basically says that there's a new negotiated rate, and Poshmark is able to use flat rates. I have not had any issue with using the padded flat rate envelopes or the flat rate boxes, but I know some people have. So once you print out your label, if you use the 8x11s, I have a video also on how to fit them on the two-page sticky label sheets. All you really have to do is take the label and shrink it to 80%. And it will still fit awkwardly, but it will be straight on the side and it still scans. So that's my way of getting around that. I also just worked with Dymo and got one of these Dymo printers. They're pretty amazing, I'm not going to lie, because now you can, on Poshmark, you can actually print on 4x6 labels. One thing to note about doing it that way is you have to have your settings changed before someone buys your item. So if you use a Dymo, you want to make sure that your settings are changed. I also have a tutorial video for that on how to do it, where to find it in your Poshmark store. It's on my YouTube channel. And then you change it so when you email it, it will already be ready for that size. So you just print it out, you package it up. There's some controversy over whether you should make your packages look like they came from the Hallmark store or you just send them. I have sold over 1,100 items on Poshmark. I started out folding them all up in tissue and putting thank you stickers and doing all of this stuff. And once I started getting more and more sales, I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep, it slowed me down too much. So now I just keep them in plastic bags and I throw them in an envelope and I ship them off. So as long as I believe, as long as you are receiving the item that you purchased in the condition it was described in the listing, that should be sufficient. I know Poshmark promotes like, you know, the ribbons and the tissue paper and the wrapping and all that kind of stuff, but I really think it's wasteful. And I think it definitely slows you down once you start getting, you know, more into it. So then you put you ship your item, you send it off. It's going to go to the buyer. All of the tracking is showing up right in your Poshmark app. So if you go into your sold listings and click on, you know, track delivery or some track package, it will show you exactly every step where it is. Once the item is delivered to the buyer, so once the post office has it registered as delivered to the buyer has 3 days to say, this is the item I received, or it's automatically accepted by the buyer. So they can only file a claim for an item not as described within 3 days of the delivery time on the app. After that, there's no returns. They can't open a case, with the exception, a lot of people don't know this, but if you sell a replica item or a dupe, you can open a case whenever you want on that, and they will take their money back. So if you sell a fake wallet and the buyer comes back 6 months later and says, hey, I went to the Chanel store and they said this was fake, and you come back to Poshmark and you file a claim on the fake wallet, they will deduct that money and then have a return. So just be aware if you're trying to sell dupes or fakes or anything, that don't worry, if someone files a claim, they will get their money back. So they'll take it from you. But then, you know, hopefully they love their item. They leave you a 5-star love note, which is the note they leave at the end. And then you can transfer your money into your checking account or ask for a check. So that's pretty much it. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you actually break down the steps, it's pretty basic.
First and foremost, like, it's way easier to list on Poshmark than it is eBay.
Yeah.
And shipping is easier. Like, what? I said this last show, but what is going on eBay?
I don't know.
You're so big, but yet you're letting little Poshmark get better shipping rates.
It's ridiculous. The last time I shipped a pair of men's shoes that wouldn't fit in a medium flat rate box, which, by the way, a medium flat rate box is what, $12.60? So that right there is double Poshmark's rate. It was $19.35 to ship it from my house to the West Coast. Jeez. Same shoes on Poshmark, $6.49.
So I know this is off topic, but how do you have time?
For what?
How do you have time for everything? YouTube, Poshmark, eBay, family, your amazing husband that loves data. Like, how do you have time?
Well, I think one, we don't have children. So that, you know, that leaves a lot of extra room during the day that I'm not, you know, obviously caring for children. We have dogs, but no children. And it's interesting because I don't know about you. I'm sure you've tried things with your business and they don't work. Then you try something else. And then you move to another, like I got banned from Mercari for selling mystery boxes. So I don't sell on Mercari anymore. I'm like totally goody two shoes. I never get in trouble with anything. And for me to get banned, I'm like, oh my God, they just banned me. I'm supposed to be this like person that people look up to. And that, you know, I'm helping, and I just got kicked off one of these apps. So that was kind of embarrassing.
Don't ask her any Mercari questions, okay?
Don't ask me because I don't know. But, you know, so I think for me, doing this part-time, learning different things as I go, and adjusting, readjusting, trying new things, trying new methods. One thing that I will tell you about taking pictures is, for me, now that I have a rhythm of exactly what pictures I'm taking for blazers, for jeans, for shoes, it's almost automatic now. So I know my shoes are here, 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 here. You turn them, throw them in a bag, done, next. And it's a much more rapid process than what I used to do, which was steam the item, put it on the mannequin, fart around with the buttons, twist it around, are the shoulders right, steam it again. And it took me forever to list items, and it slowed me down. So now I'm like, if this has 1 wrinkle, it's going up with 1 wrinkle. If it has 1,000, I'm steaming it once, and that's the end of it. So there's little things like that that definitely either slow you down or cost you time, that eventually your process and your system evolves, hopefully. So you are much faster and much more efficient when you're doing your work. So that's what I'll say is don't be afraid to like try new ways to take pictures, a new camera, I don't know, have a listing person help you, whatever you need to do to make it more expedited and more regimented. That's kind of how I basically have time to do anything. And like I told you before we logged on, when I go in the thrift store, I am headphones on, blinders on, hyper focused in what I'm looking for, flipping through the racks. I mean, sometimes this watch thinks I walked like 30,000 steps because my arms are moving so much in the thrift store. And then I've actually met my workout goal by thrifting. So this thing has actually registered that I was working out while I was thrifting. So like, that's how kind of intense and quick I'm moving through the store. So for me, and it has definitely evolved just over time. There are brands that I'm still learning about on Instagram. There are things that I don't pick up anymore. There are things that I know sell better on eBay than they do on Poshmark. Although I will say that some of those brands are, for an example, Eileen Fisher. It's a expensive women's brand, and it used to sell primarily on eBay, but now I'm noticing that it's selling a lot more on Poshmark. And I think primarily because there's a lot more buyers, a lot more new people coming to Poshmark that are looking for that kind of merchandise. So what do you like? Do you have something that has evolved over your, what do you think that has made you better, faster since you've been doing it?
Rebecca, 99.9% of my process I've evolved. No,
right?
It's crazy. There's so much I can't name off all, but for example, simple one is the bins back here. I used to have bins that you couldn't see through. It was the dark green bins, and the problem with that is they're nice, but the problem with that is I can't see how full the merchandise is. So I like these because if it gets half full, then what I'll do is I'll list 20 items and I'll say, okay, bin 35, throw them in there, and now it's full.
Mm-hmm.
That was a quick change that I made. Another change that I made too when I first started was look, everybody has a budget to start with. It does take a little bit of money to buy lights and this and that. But when I first started, I bought really inexpensive lights, like 2 sets.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, bulbs broke. Like Kate was running around the house and it would shatter. And so now I've got LED lights where I don't have to worry about, and not only that, but they're brighter, they're nicer. And so one recommendation that I would do is if you have a little bit of a budget, just buy the best you possibly can that's going to last you a few years, then have to spend money a few times and the hassle. And that's one thing I didn't do too. So there's a lot of, and then not only that, but a really easy one was when I was doing Posh, I wasn't doing the square mode. And
and then you got to edit all those pictures.
Yeah. And then
have just like a crop of like a random shoulder.
Yes. And believe it or not, like now I use the iPhone because what you can do if you need a little bit of brightness is you can use the iPhone, double tap and make it a little bit more brighter so you can get the white backgrounds. Like, it's so like you can watch a million YouTube videos, but at the end of the day, unless you're doing the process, like sometimes it needs hands-on to like better your process. But I want to know, like, for you, what if you can give like a few tips for people, anything regarding Poshmark and or eBay, but primarily Poshmark, like what kind of tips would you say that has helped you in your,
like for people who are getting started or just anybody?
Just anybody. Like what would you recommend? Like it could be from anything from thrifting to should you use mannequins, should you flat lay, like what kind of stuff kind of helped you like along with your process? Because you're part-time, but that's a lot of stuff to sell. And I'm with you, by the way, on not wrapping it like a present. Because guys, when you get those presents, like you take the stuff off, and then what do you do with the stuff? You know, well, I use it for, you know, like my Amazon. It's I'll use it for, you know, that stuff. But it goes right in the garbage. So I'm with you on that. It's wasteful. It's wasteful.
Yeah. And I think it's unnecessary. I mean, I understand making, you want to make someone feel special when you open the package. And to me, honestly, I just feel special if it's what I ordered. Like if it doesn't have stains on it, there's no holes in it, like the shoes are the right size and they're exactly what I ordered, I'm elated with that, because I have had some Poshmark purchases that were not exactly what I ordered or not exactly as described. And those really are the bummers to open, because you really get kind of like, oh, not again. And a lot of the times those are newer sellers or sellers who have like sporadic involvement. Like I said, the ones who are really on there, and then you buy something and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I sell on this site and I just got an email and I'm just going to throw it in a box and ship it to you. Let me think here. As far as thrifting, if you're just getting started, or even if you have done it for a while, I think what's key with that is eliminating the distractions. I have found better items, higher quality items, and more items since I started thrifting with headphones by myself with not talking to anybody. I'm not like looking around or wondering what's happening or looking at the screaming kid or the people who are fighting with each other in the shoe aisle. I'm just hyper focused on what I came to do there. I also thrift a lot faster. I'm in and out of there a lot faster, and I cover a lot more ground than when I'm just kind of like aimlessly wandering around in the thrift store. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is, just because you saw on social media, or even just because one of us in a haul video like me shared something on our YouTube or a haul video, or you saw a brand that's like a great brand, that doesn't mean that it always sells. It might be that it's in the newer style sell, or the vintage item sell, or, you know, it's actually the plus sizes are actually the sizes that sell, not the petite. So I think there's a lot more that goes into selecting brands and items to sell than just, you know, hey, I found this Tommy Hilfiger shirt. It's great. It's vintage. Well, yeah, but does it have the letters on it? Is it, you know, is it actually the 90s Tommy Hilfiger, or is it just some random Tommy Hilfiger shirt from like 2008 that might say Tommy on it, but it's not? So it's a little bit more research needs to go into looking up the new brands and what you want to accomplish with that. And the going into that is searching the sold listings. So if you go into Anthropologie, and you search Anthropologie sold listings skirts, you can sort by highest, lowest, see what people are selling. I tend to sort by highest to lowest just so I can get an idea of what's sorting. The one thing that's a little bit frustrating on Poshmark is you can't sort out non-new with tags from new with tags. It's either new with tags or everything. It's not everything else but new with tags. So at least on eBay, you can search, you know, whether they're new or used, each of those. So if you know you have a used item, you can just search the used Tommy Hilfiger shirts. If you have a new one, you can just search the new. On Poshmark, it makes it a little bit more difficult, and I'm hoping that some of the search features will be improved with updates that hopefully they'll roll out between now and or at PoshFest. I would say with storage, you know, when I first started, we had like a 1,100 square foot apartment, and everything I kept was in like a utility closet for brooms and stuff. And I measured, and I found like there were the exact shelves you have behind you, and I put them in there, and I had the bins, and I had everything. I know that I said it's wasteful to use extra stuff, but I do use plastic bags for my items. If I could find like recyclable, biodegradable bags that are the same size as what I'm using right now for everything, I would buy them. But it protects the item. And what I mean by that is I used to store them just in the bins. So I would just have the skirts, I'd fold them up real nice, and I would stick them in the bins. And then what happens is we have dogs, so pet hair would fly in those bins. Then I'd have to roll the item repeatedly before I shipped it. Or maybe let's say one of my husband put some stuff away and threw a pair of shoes in the dress bag on accident, or it fell over into that bag, and now there's some mud or dirt or a scuff or something on a expensive dress or pants. So getting a system like that, and like you have behind you of, okay, this is in this bin, this is in this bin, and these items are protected from the elements by bags or UPS poly mailers or tissue paper, whatever you want it to be, making sure that that is actually protecting your item. So like I said, it is what you sold gets to the person in that condition.
We have a couple questions too, real quick.
Okay.
So it's getting pretty far up there. And guys, you all know, if you haven't seen me live, I'm 100% all for you guys starting social media, all for you guys advertising your own stores, your own Instagrams, your own YouTubes, your own Poshmark closets. So guys, in chat, we have 60 people. Put your Poshmark closet name in there so people can start following you guys, and I'll follow you guys. So put your Poshmark closet name in the chat. We do have Rebecca, do you use thank you cards or any kind of cards? Like, do you just throw a card in there by chance?
Yeah. So I think I don't know where they are, but I do have little cards. Hang on. Let me see.
And just so you know, guys, I actually do cards for eBay. I'm trying to look for one of my cards too.
So you can just go on Vistaprint or Zazzle and Groupon usually has, okay, so let me tell you a secret. I use Ebates a ton, and I use Ebates a ton on stuff like coupons on Groupon. So here's what I do. I go onto Ebates and I go onto Groupon, and I usually wait till they have like 10% cash back on Groupon or Living Social or whatever. And they typically have a deal on there for Vistaprint or Zazzle or one of these sites where you can make your own postcards. And then I go on and I buy the coupon for that. And then I go on and I buy my postcards. So I get the Ebates back, I get the coupon, and then I save money on the postcards. So this is from Zazzle. They just say thanks. There's just like a little nice note on the back. But I used to handwrite notes, but again, it definitely slowed me down. So now I use these little cards.
We have one smart cookie here, guys. No wonder she's amazing. She's amazing. Man, we have so many questions. This is great tonight.
Let's do it. Fire round of questions.
Yeah. Let's. So Swamp. By the way, Swamp, what is your oh, it is clothing by Swamp is
okay.
I laugh at that name. It's really, really cool. All right, so can you put your closet on vacation?
Yes. My tip for Poshmark on closet on vacation is if you are going to be gone 4 days or less, don't do it. And if someone buys something, I usually go to the Their About Them page and say, hi, I just saw you bought a pair of shoes from me. I'm on vacation until Saturday. I just wanted to give you a heads up. It won't ship until Monday. Let me know if that's okay. That way they know that it won't ship till Monday. And like I've had an instance where they needed them by Sunday or whatever because they were going to a wedding. And so I canceled the order and then they bought them from another seller, which is totally fine. However, it keeps your store alive and active, similar to eBay's. If you put it on vacation mode, kind of drops your listings down in ranking. So if you're going to be gone for a week or more, I usually put it on vacation for the first half. And then the second half, then I turn it back on. So that way you're getting a head start on your store before you come back. The other thing is I have someone who helps me ship. She also is my dog sitter, dog walker. And so she helps me do shipping also because I trust her. She's in my house. She's a key to my house and I trust her to do shipping. So when I'm not home, I actually never put my store in vacation mode because she handles shipping for me on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays when I'm out of town. So that is a tip I can tell you is try to find somebody you trust and make sure you have a really good organization system with your merchandise so that person can easily go in, pull your stuff, and ship it. There you go.
So that's actually my amazing Beth.
Yeah.
20 feet away. We went to eBay Open and she was doing all my eBay shipping. And yeah, geez, she is amazing. I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And she said, "Yes." And so I owe her a big thanks if you're watching, Beth. But all right, so by the way, we have a little comment over here, Rebecca. Let me see. Let me see. I don't know if you saw it, but it says,
I don't know how to see the chat in here.
You have to open up another web browser, mute it. You know, go to my YouTube and open up another web browser and mute it.
All right, well, I'll just let you handle it.
So, oh my gosh, my favorite reseller. You guys are on a roll with Poshers today. So I thought, okay, so here's a good question. Ellen, hey guys, when you cross post an item from eBay to Poshmark and you put the item on sale on Poshmark, if it sells on eBay, Poshmark doesn't let you edit or delete it. Any thoughts?
What do you mean? I guess I don't understand the question. So if it sells on both sites?
No, I think what he's referring to is that, okay, so if it's on eBay and Poshmark, the same item, it sells on eBay, but on Poshmark you have it for sale.
I mark it not for sale until the person leaves positive feedback or like 2 weeks goes by, since I don't offer returns, and then I delete it. So you'll see items in my store, but then what happens, I don't share those. So they just go down in the bottom of my closet. And then if, like, let's say the person is a non-pair on eBay, I just go back in, reactivate it, and start sharing it again. The other thing is if someone buys the same item at the same time, so like, let's say you list a pair of Nikes and they sell on Poshmark and they sell on eBay at the same time on Saturday, my biggest tip right at the moment is that you cancel the Poshmark transaction because you'll get a defect on eBay. So eBay penalizes sellers for canceling orders, and Poshmark at this point in time, the end of 2018, does not do that. So I've even had items where they sell for a higher amount on Poshmark, and then I end up having to sell them on eBay for the lower amount because I don't want the defect on my account. And that's kind of a bummer, but
that is, I find that you get more money on Poshmark than
you do. Yeah. Well, I think that the buyer is a little bit different. So the buyer on eBay is looking for a bargain, is looking for a deal. They want the best, cheapest price sometimes, or the most unique item. Whereas on Poshmark, they're literally comparing your item against other people on Poshmark. And most people are not like us who go and look at, if I want a dress in a certain size and a certain style, I'm on eBay, Mercari, Tradesy, The RealReal, Poshmark. Like, I'm looking at all these sites trying to find the right whatever. Most people are not doing that. Most people are on Poshmark shopping on Poshmark, or they're on eBay shopping on eBay. And I have had items that I have priced lower on eBay because I was like just kind of trying to get rid of them, but Poshmark, I just left it for whatever reason. And they end up selling on Poshmark for the higher amount than on eBay. And all that person would have had to do is search the item, like even a Google search, and they probably would have both showed up. So most people are shopping on whatever app they're on.
So is there a limit using offers to likers? Because if it goes through, but then, okay, I'm not too sure exactly that question, but is there a limit on sending offers to likers on Poshmark?
All right, so here's how offers to likers work. And I think people are kind of confused about this. So let's say you have a blazer for $50. Okay, so you have a blazer for $50. You send an offer with either a discounted or free shipping and at least a 10% discount on the item on the lowest historical price. So you are sending it, so you send $45 and $4.99 shipping. You can, as long as you keep getting new likers, you can submit the same offer to likers, but it will only go to those new people. So if you have 10 likers, you send that offer, and then in 2 weeks, you have 5 more people that have liked that item, and you send the same offer, the $45 with the $4.99 shipping. That offer to likers is only going to go to the 5 new people. In order to send a new offer to likers to the people that got the original offer, you have to go another 10% below that $45 to get them to see that item. So you can do unlimited offers to likers. However, I think it's not good form to send $5, $5 off, $5 off, $5, you know, so because then people are like, well, are your prices real, or are you Kohl's and just inflating stuff and then giving people a bunch of discounts? So I try to do it where I am offering to likers, offering to new likers the same offer until I get maybe a bite on it. And then, you know, every 30 days, if nothing happens, then I do it another 10 or 20%. So I gradually mark them down throughout time. Now, my sell-through rate, I basically sell 30% of my inventory every month. So my churn is 30%. So if I have 200 items for sale, I typically sell 60 to 70 items. It's my average date to sale is 72 days. So there's some that have skewed that, obviously, that sell in one day or late. But being able to know those numbers and know what brands sell, that's why I'm selling more. That's why, because I'm paying attention to what I'm selling, what brands I have, what people want. Everybody wants to know what brands are selling on Poshmark. The brands that are selling on Poshmark are the brands that they have in the parties. So if you are in the anthropology party, go pay attention to the 20 new brands they just threw into that party. The luxury brand, the preppy, the whatever, anyone that has a brand list, pay attention to those, because those are the brands people are searching for, and those are the brands that are going to have a higher like sell-through rate and lower chance of sitting in your closet.
And you get text messages too, like without even opening the app, or at least I do, and it shows like, okay, starting this party, we're doing like spade and stuff like that. Guys, hit that thumbs up button for Rebecca. Seriously, she's amazing. She's amazing. I don't have to do anything this show. All right, so we'll have her on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So first and foremost, I want to ask you a few personal questions, because I think we overlooked that a little bit. First, I want to ask, what does your friends and family, like there locally, think of you selling online? Have you ever tried to teach them how to sell online? Do they ever give you free stuff to try to sell? Like, what's their thoughts when you say you sell on Poshmark and eBay?
So my friends all want to know, like, how do they do it? So a lot of my close friends are all Poshmark sellers. I went to eBay Open with one of my best friends. She's also going with me to eBay or to PoshFest. And so, you know, that's the simplicity and the ease of Poshmark, is that anyone can do it. So, you know, you just take your pictures, stick it on, and you're on the way. And so, you know, for me, it's just, they just want me to be happy and be able to contribute to our household, despite, you know, having chronic migraines and autoimmune diseases and all that fun stuff. So for me, whatever works for me, they're fine with.
Guys, let me know in chats. I'm really curious. We have a lot of people watching. Are you guys subscribed to her or following her on Instagram? Type 1
for I was like, that's me.
Type 1 or 2 for no. I'm curious to see, because I stalk her Instagram quite a bit. Looks like you read good books, and this must be your little puppy here.
Oh, that's Louie.
Yes, Louie. He's
hilarious.
Living the good life, guys.
Oh my gosh, that dog just cracks me up, seriously.
Tell me if you guys, 1, if you're already following her, 2, if you're not, and if you aren't, you should. It's she's got some good stuff there, guys. Now, real quick, Rebecca, I want to be respectful of your time. I definitely have more time, but tell me a little bit about, like, so you got all this stuff going. It sounds like you're using Poshmark and eBay in a really cool way to pay bills and medical bills, which, believe me, I know how expensive those things are. And we were talking a little bit before the show, and you said, or was it before the show or while you're on the show? I can't remember, but you basically said the reason you started your YouTube up and the reason you started Instagram is to help people. And like, isn't it amazing? You put yourself out there and just your process, and then people reach out to you and say thank you for, you know, your knowledge and you helping them, because they're going through the same things too, right? So,
well, and one of the things is I've always kind of gravitated towards being a teacher, and almost every job I've had, I've had some kind of teaching component, whether it was training new staff or creating trainings for current employees or continuing education and things like that. So for me, it's a natural. YouTube is not necessarily a natural fit. I don't think it's really a natural fit for anyone. That's another thing. You can go back and look at people's old videos and see how far they've come, just like their Poshmark photos. But you know, for me, I try to make my videos clear and concise, easy to understand. I don't, you know, I really don't get myself involved with any drama. I'm not a gossip. I'm not, listen, I have enough stuff going on in my life, and life is hard enough as it is to worry about who's fighting with who in the reseller community. I'm sorry, but I'm worried about like whether or not I'm on the right meds. And that's a little bit more important than, you know, who's mad at who's this and that. So for me, I just stay in my lane. My goal here is to help people. I'm hyper focused on that too, right? So my goal is just to help people as much as I can and stay away from the drama and negativity, because that's not going to get me to where I want to go, and it's not going to help anyone else get there either. So I just really try to keep my channel focused on teaching and educating and making sure people have the knowledge and ability to do what they want, work their own hours, make their own money, pay their own bills, whatever. And that's my goal.
I honestly like positivity. It's crazy. I've had so many cool people on here, and I am the same way. Positivity over anything. Like you like I said, I think it was 2 shows ago, you know, I think everything in the world is energy, some sort of energy, right? Like you off energy, like the ocean's energy, like everything's energy.
Yeah.
So you're breathing positive energy, or, you know, that sort of thing you're going to attract. And so I couldn't agree more with you on that. I want to ask this question because I get a lot of people that like a lot of people that are new to Posh want to gravitate towards Posh people. So do you know some Posh people out there on Instagram, YouTube, or anywhere that you enjoy following as well within that?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. A lot of the younger ladies are much more creative with their videos and much more stylish than I am. I'm over here selling Eileen Fisher, and they're over there with like free people and really cute dresses. And I'm like, and I don't know. And they're modeling. They like take pictures of them wearing it. I'm like, that wouldn't go up my leg. I can't model that. That would be bad. You definitely would not want to buy this if I modeled it for you. That's what I want to write when people ask me if I model. But you know, the Deal Queen, she's amazing. She's one of the first. Alexandra's one of like the first Poshmark users. She's been on there forever. She's a 6-figure seller. She's amazing. Jenna with Empty Hanger, she's great. She sells a lot on there. My friend Casa Chic, Julie, she's another one. She sells a lot of like higher end stuff. She has great tips on eBay. Casa Chic _store, I believe is her full name. She gives she's started on Posh, but she's definitely an old school eBay seller. She spoke in one of the panels about global shipping at eBay Open this last time. So she's a wealth of information. And, you know, I think that there are some people who have sold on eBay for a really long time that are trying Poshmark. And I don't know, you know, everybody wants to be a guru nowadays, but you know, just, it doesn't matter who you're really following. To me, it's that they're just providing accurate and good information. So just like compare and contrast with different stuff, and do your research too. I mean, if you think like, oh, that doesn't really sound right, you know, make sure that you're checking that out. So.
All right. So I want to ask one last question, and then I have some information on. I want to go over a few things about your YouTube and also your course too.
Okay.
My question is like, I want to know, how has reselling changed your life? Like you talked a little bit about paying the bills, but how has it actually affected you? If you didn't do reselling today, like how has it changed your life for the positive?
Oh my gosh, what a loaded question. So I could just go on and on. But for me, truly, it has given me the life back that I used to have, where I was like a high achiever and I used to do everything and do all the work. And, you know, now that I can't necessarily do reselling full time, but I can do reselling part-time and help other people do it part-time or full-time if they wanted to do that. And so that has really, you know, obviously being able to contribute to my household. You know, I know a lot of stay-at-home moms that follow me, or people who have children with disabilities and they can't work, or, you know, they're kind of homebound, that this has been an avenue for them to feel the same way and feel like they belong again. And they're, you know, they're part of the family in the economic sense, the contribution part. That's really a huge issue for people who are in situations like mine. You know, the other thing is the social media component has allowed it to be less lonely. This is a very lonely job. You know, you're by yourself, you're thrifting by yourself, you're listing by yourself, you're taking pictures by yourself. So I think the online reselling community really gives life and a sense of community to this lonely job. So if you combine a lonely job with a lonely health problem or a lonely home life, it's extra lonely. So this gives you an avenue to do both. And I've always been the do-it-yourself gal. So for me, to not have a boss, to be able to come and go, to fly home whenever I want, you know, to go take trips and not have to ask permission, that really has been extremely helpful as well. Not having to call off. One of the things that I was always super guilty of is when I really wasn't feeling well and I had to call in the morning and say, hey, you know, you just in your mind, you're like, oh, you're sick again. Oh, you're sick again. I mean, it's just a roller coaster. So, you know, now if I don't feel well, I just wake up at noon and I start my day at 4. I just make it work, you know? So I think that's, and I could list so many more, but those are the most important, I think. Definitely, for sure.
Way less stress, right?
Yeah, way less stress.
Yeah. Where's home by chance?
Ohio.
Oh, nice.
So I'm from Northeast Ohio. My husband's from Northwest Ohio. And then we lived in Columbus for a really long time before we moved to Virginia.
How did you guys meet?
Actually, we met on Match.com about 13 years ago when it was weird and creepy. And my mom thought I was going to be raped and murdered. And every time I went on a date, I had to send her the guy's screen name, their phone number, their name, who they were, what car they drove, like basically their license plate. I mean, we met back when it was not as mainstream as it is now. So, but we've been married, it'll be 11 years in September. So It does work sometimes.
You are a success story.
I am. Yeah.
Who cooks in the house? Is it you
My
or
husband? Yeah, he does.
What's your favorite meal?
Well, actually, we've been doing those like plated, like where they send you the meals and you make them, and because what happens normally is we're like, oh, let's get all these recipes, and we go to the store and we spend like $200, and then everything rots in our fridge because we didn't make that recipe or we didn't know how to do it or whatever. So what's great about these is, we have 4 meals a week that come. They're ready to go. They're pre-packaged, pre-portioned. And since he likes cooking, it's a great alternative than going and buying a whole bunch of stuff. And we waste a whole lot less food.
I was actually thinking about doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And you can even get those meals for like, if you enjoy cooking, get them for like 4 out of the 7 days. So you can cook a little bit more,
Yeah. And the other thing is there's like 10 of them. So basically you could spend 6 months bouncing in between coupons for all of them. Like, for instance, I'm like, oh, I just got a coupon for HelloFresh. Well, now I can do HelloFresh for $50 a week for 3 weeks. So I'm going to skip those weeks on plated, do HelloFresh for 3 weeks, and then wait for me to get another coupon for something else. So
we got true reseller over here, guys.
I know.
Reseller. I think it's really cool because reselling goes beyond like selling stuff. Like, I feel like you're more like in tune in how much money you're spending. You know what I mean?
I spend a lot of money though. My husband will attribute to that, but it's always like bargain stuff. It's always like, well, I got this on sale. I found this on clearance. I can't tell you the last time I paid full price for anything. Even in the stores, even if I go to the mall, I'm always on Ebates or coupons or something like that. So
do you have Rebecca, do you have your phone handy by chance?
I do.
Do you have any special apps that you like using, reselling or non-reselling related, that helps you in your daily life? I always like asking this question because what do you got on your phone?
I have a sleep app for this watch called Pillow. I use Canva and Over and Word Swag to make like Instagram images and YouTube thumbnails. I like the Boomerang Instagram app for fun, like kind of things. I have lots of travel apps.
Can you do that again, Rebecca?
Is it good? Did I get it? Is that like a live boomerang? I have, you know, Nordstrom, Plated, all of those things. I have lots of fitness apps that I don't use. Oh, I have I have Bite Squad, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and whatever the other delivery food thing that I can get. This one, Glam Squad, I got my hair blown out just for you today. Actually, no, no offense, but I got it blown out to go home. But I definitely don't do my own hair. I definitely don't do my own hair. That's like my one. I don't get my nails done. You'll notice that in my pictures. I always try to like smooth out my fingers so you can't see how gross they are. But my hair will always be done. And I don't know. I got like vacation apps. I do play slots on my phone. It's not really beneficial to anyone, but it's a guilty pleasure for me.
Now, what happened in Vegas? Did you put a little money? Did you partake?
No, but my best friend won $7 grand on slots. On 3 different slots, she won like 4, 1.5, and 1 or something like that. So, and I did not win anything.
Wow, that's incredible. You're probably on your phone playing, right?
Well, I don't have to spend any money on that, so. But she did. She was generous. She was like my sugar mama. She handed me $20 here and there while we were playing. Yeah.
Well, it's you got to have a good partner. Like I feel like for anything in the casino, especially for me since I play table games, like I need like a dealer that's okay, like really nice. Because when I lose, like, and I give them my money, I want, you know, I can't have somebody that's just sitting there. You know, it's got to be lively,
like engaging.
Yes, and get very engaging. So, tell me a little bit about. First of all, you blew me away with everything rolls off your tongue extremely well. Like I can tell you know exactly what you're talking about with Poshmark and eBay. And as I said before the show, I'm a Poshmark newbie. Seriously, like 3 things that you said, I had no idea. So tell me a little bit about like the course that you offer. I'll put it in the description below. There's everything below. There's your YouTube channel, your Instagram, and then also the course. So kind of explain what that entails for the 75 watching.
So the course is pretty much how to use it's a joint course with my husband and I, and it really teaches you how to use your data to make more money, thrift faster, and know more about your business, really understand your business. And there are some things that I really had no idea about until I started really doing some of the things that he had taught me. Now, you would think we've been married 13 or 11 years together, 13, that prior to like a year and a half ago, he would be helping me with this. But you would be wrong because I'm a control freak and he did not help me before this. However, that was a detriment to me because he really has helped me a lot with my business. We use Google Sheets, so it makes it very easy to look up what you purchased. One of the things that I will say is if you don't have access to bins, so meaning you're not going and buying by the pound, you're not just buying in bulk, is if you're buying individual items for individual prices. So you're buying, you know, for me, our prices here in Washington, D.C. are pretty high. So I'm always paying up for items, and I have to be really strategic about what I buy. So knowing what I should and shouldn't be spending on different items based on what they're selling for, what they've sold for, how long I've had them in my closet, you know, what stores were most profitable. So where should I keep spending my time instead of going, there's like a little fruit fly in here. Where should I spend my time instead of just wandering around everywhere? So again, it's all back to that strategy, the strategic thinking of, okay, if these stores I get the most return for my money on their sale days, then I should be going to these stores and not to the other one. The problem is the most expensive thrift store is literally, I can walk there across the street from my house. So sometimes I end up there paying a little bit more than I want to just for the sheer sake of convenience. But being able to know what you're spending on the items, what brands are selling, what the profit per item is, has been just completely transformative for my business. And I attribute a lot of that to how I can work part-time and sell 50 grand or more reselling per year. So because otherwise, if I had no idea what I was doing and I was just wandering around and picking stuff up and I kept making bad decisions, bad buying decisions, you know, it would be a lot harder for me to do that. So if you're not going to the bins, you're paying individual prices for your items, you're going different places. I think it's important to track those brands. If you don't want to do it that way, I mean, that's totally fine. You can just do your total purchase and subtract it from your sales and all that kind of stuff. There's, I don't know how to, oh, darn. I don't know how to say it, but her Instagram is Krangle, KRAANGLE or something. And I'll send it. I don't know if you know her, but she is an accountant and she spoke at Poshmark Poshfest last year. And she has a course just on taxes and how much money you should do and all that stuff. Also, Not Your Dad's CPA, Mark II, has helped me with some stuff. He's also a really great resource for resellers as far as taxes and that kind of stuff. So my course is not focused on taxes. It's more about your sales, your inventory, how much money you're making, what you should be buying, where you should be buying it, and really teaching you how to understand your inventory. And now it's a lot easier. It's so much easier now that Poshmark gives you a sales course or a sales report, because now you don't have to go in individually to every single item. It used to take me forever. Now it's so much faster that it's going to be good. The other thing is and you're the first to know about this or hear about it. Heard here first. I am creating like a huge Poshmark master course. So it's going to go through everything from A to Z. It's going to be amazing. I'm hoping to have it done by next month. So if you sign up, obviously, just even for the email list for the data course, which will be in the description, you're going to put in the description, right? So if you even sign up just for the email, the interest, you will have first dibs at that course as well.
By the way, I'll be signing up because your boy Wade over here needs a little help. Needs a little help with the Poshmark.
And I have a free video that's on Poshmark. We just filmed it. It's just a Poshmark workshop that teaches you about the sales report, how to use it, what are things to look out for. And that workshop will kind of give you an idea of the flow and how the actual data course goes.
Well, I think that's really good. I'm going to put this, so I'll put the email list in the description.
Okay.
So you guys can get it and get on the list. And then 2, we'll put the course in the description as well. And then also when the new one comes out in a month, let me know and we'll put that in the description. We'll have everything there, guys, because I know people are going to be watching this over and over again, especially since somebody asked if that's a money tree behind you.
It is. I wish it actually grew money, but well, you know, one of the things too, and I just want to point this out, is I provide a lot of free content. So if you don't want to pay to take a course and you're like, hey, you know, forget this lady, I'm not giving her my money, I can figure this out on my own, I have lots of free content. There is a lot. So if you want to take the time and go through my videos, through my channel, I have lots of content out there that will help you. You don't have to take the course. But if you are like, look, I just want to figure this stuff out, I just want to figure it out. I want to understand it. I want it to go in order, order of what importance and what's happening, then that's going to be the point. So I'll still have all of my free content, the 101, the 102, 103, 104, but I'll also create this other thing for people who just want to learn it, just want to figure it out, start selling and start making profits.
It goes back to I didn't know this would tie into it, but it goes back to the fact that I bought 2 lights at the beginning that were really cheap, that didn't work. The second set, they had the fuse kept on going out, so that was a whole nother issue. So that's one reason why I think this is going to be good for people that are really serious about Poshmark, because it's going to have everything there for you guys. So that way you can kind of learn it one little area, be done with it, and move on and crush it.
Yeah,
Sell that
exactly.
stuff. So that's going to be really, really cool, guys. We'll put the links below. And tell me a little bit about your YouTube. Like, what do you have structured times that you put stuff out?
No. It's the most random. I like to keep people guessing and like surprises. I know most people are like, I really would like it if I just knew she was going to film on Tuesdays. I'm more the like, hey, I feel really good today and I have a good idea, so I'm going to make a video. Like I said, I'm one shot Sally, so I just film the videos. They are what they are. I hope you like them.
There's a lot of love. There's a lot of love in chat. Let me know, guys. Let me know how amazing Rebecca is in chat. Please give her some hearts. Give her some hearts. This has been incredible. I really appreciate you coming on. Quite frankly, it was. I want to get more Poshmark people on my channel because it's a growing thing.
Yeah.
Think about Posh men by chance joining Poshmark.
Oh, I think it's great. My husband has a Poshmark closet, but he doesn't run it. I do. It's just a men's Poshmark closet.
And I mean, he's got to be having a little bit of fun with this too, right? I mean,
yeah,
he loves it. Now, you were into it first, and then you kind of got him into it, right?
Well, he's just into the data part. That's all he cares about. All he cares about is helping me make more money and being able to do it better and understand it. So.
Isn't it cool? I say this all the time, but isn't it cool to like wake up and like have like something you guys can work on together?
Oh yeah.
Money and pay bills and go on vacations and
it's awesome.
All that kind of good stuff. So it's been incredible. This year's great. And I'm really glad that I was able to get you on here and showcase just everything. I feel like it needs to be a 3 or 4 time a week thing. I wouldn't have to worry about videos anymore. Have you on and no,
that's why I have my own channel.
No, don't worry about that channel. Come on over. Come on over. No, I'm joking. You got an amazing YouTube channel, guys. Hopefully, I've been putting her link about 50 times in chat. So go subscribe. Go subscribe. I'm gonna try to get the Posh hanger. Maybe you can put in a good word.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Monica, just ask her.
I would love her to come on. Like, there's so many people. Guys, real quick before we get Rebecca off, because she's a superstar here. What Poshmark sellers would you like on the channel? Please let me know. Please let me know in chat, and I will see if Rebecca can introduce. But yeah, she's one of them. She's really, really cool. So, but all right, guys. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna put all the links below and after the show. And guys, this has been amazing. Go support. And the empty hanger is one of them. Okay. Little Black hanger was on actually today. So go back. She was on 3 hours ago. So go back and check. Lauren. So eBay Princess. I know I got to get her on. She's really, really cool. Monica. Yes. Rebecca's going to put in a good word hopefully for that.
Sure. I will let Monica know.
She's got to be super busy though. So we'll see.
Well, that girl sells a lot.
Yes. She's crushed. She's
like a reseller mogul.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yes, Lauren. Yep. We'll try to get her on. So yeah, it's guys, and like I said, if you're watching this after the fact and there's no live chat, put your Poshmark store name below, and I will copy you guys and follow you guys.
And comment on my about Posh person, and I'll follow you back.
What is your Poshmark?
Boss Lady Resale on Poshmark.
Okay.
And my store is Boss Lady Resale on eBay.
I was gonna say I just got my mind changed, guys. It's Wade's Ventures. I know it's hard.
You can change your username on Poshmark. I think you can do it once. You just need to email. This will be my last tip for you because my laptop's on 5%. But if you want to change your username on Poshmark or start a second closet, all you have to do is email Poshmark customer support and they will approve it. And unless it's like, probably something weird, like, well, I don't know how PG your channel is. I was going to say like,
yeah,
unless it's like big booty butts or something, they'll probably change it for you.
Yes. That actually is a good name. I think I might rock that.
Big booty butts.
Yes.
Just sell like apple bottom jeans.
I would. I think I may need to switch to something because.
Or those jeans that have the butt pads in them.
Yeah, I honestly,
you don't even know what those are, do you?
I'll sell bras. No, I have no idea. I have no idea. I'll sell anything that makes money. All right, so Rebecca, we always leave. I know, have you seen some of my shows? We always leave on a positive note from our guest. What's words of inspiration? Does not need to be reselling related at all. And then we'll get out of here.
Don't give up. You're going to tough times. You're going to hit things that don't sell. You're going to spend money on stuff that you shouldn't have purchased. You know, you're going to get banned from Mercari. It's just going to happen. I don't like, just keep trying new things. Don't give up. And, you know, just keep on. What does Dory say? Keep on swimming.
I have no idea, but that sounded fantastic.
Well, thanks.
That sounded fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye, everybody.